Hey guys, let's jump right into it. Let's take a moment to appreciate the detail of this aircraft. It is really well developed and it's really nice to look at. I'm going to pan around here so you guys can have a look at the level of detail from the decals just to everything. It's really well developed. Looks really cool. Right, let's jump into the cockpit and start this bad boy up. Just a word of note, the VTOL is only available on the F35B variant. Some tips for you guys: bind the tailhook command to your joystick. All you need to search in game is tailhook. This is what the plane uses to enter into VTOL mode. Another key you can bind to the joystick is the hover mode. The F35B uses the heading hold key to enter into hover mode. This one took me a while to figure out, so I'm happy to share it with you guys. Binding the keys really adds to the immersion of the aircraft, and it's way easier to operate than using the mouse. Let's take a quick look at the startup procedure. First thing you want to do is you want to switch the battery on. Then you want to switch IPP to on, ICC 1 and ICC 2. Right, then we want to switch the main fuel shutoff valve to on. This is right here on the heads up display. You would click it, the fuel valves are now on. Next, we need to remove the tag on the canopy. Now we want to set the IPP mode selector to start. We can move our throttle forward slightly and then engage the master ignition switch. Make sure to put your throttle to idle right after that. Now the plane, as you can hear, is starting up. You can see it's got an engine RPM low. The canopy is unlocked and the parking brake is set. To close the canopy, you click this yellow lever on the left hand side. This will close the canopy. Next, what we want to do is click on menu, lights, and switch our strobe lights on. Go back to menu. We'll wait for the heads up display. There it's now on. We're basically ready to go. We can release our parking brake and taxi to the runway. So I'll taxi to the runway and I'll see you guys again once we're on the runway. Welcome back guys, we're on the runway and we're about to do a rolling takeoff. We're currently in Cape Town, FACT. So let's get going. Gear up. A little bit of cloud cover, but not too bad. We can see Table Mountain to the left there. Gonna do a left turn here and we're gonna fly past Robben Island. You can see this island up ahead. This is Robben Island. This is where Nelson Mandela was incarcerated. It was a prison. At the moment it's currently vacant, and I do believe that there are tours to the island to view the island and where he was incarcerated. I haven't been there myself, but I heard about it. You can see a nice view of Table Mountain here. We'll get another better one. We'll approach it, do a little flyby over it. not over the mountain, but just before the mountain. So what we're going to do is we're going to land on Robin Island on this runway that's currently down there using the VTOL mode, and I will go through the VTOL mode and a little bit of its settings and configuration and what you should be expecting and what you should be doing, just give you some pointers and things like that. Quite a nice view, guys. Really clear skies today here in Cape Town. There's that nice view of Table Mountain. So we're gonna have to start decelerating soon and starting our descent. But before we do that, let's do a little flyby. I call it a flyby, but it's not really a flyby. So let's get ready, let's prepare to land at Robin Island. I'm gonna start descending now and lowering our speed so that we can put our wheels out at around 198, 200 knots. Then as soon as we get over the landmass, we will engage the VTOL engines. Stunning aircraft. It's incredibly responsive to flight controls. You just have to touch the joystick and it responds. The sound is also really amazing, especially if you're sitting in the cockpit, sound of the engine, if you have your earphones on at full blast, it really adds that level of immersion to the sim. So we're going to pop our wheels out here soon. There we go, gear down. We should be at around 200. Let's check our speed. 200. We'll align ourselves onto the runway now. Here we go. We'll be engaging the VTOL engines momentarily. I want to show you guys something before we actually land. so that's why I'm engaging the VTOL engines quite early. So you see the VTOL engines are active and we still have a little bit of forward movement. They're going to engage soon. That haven't engaged completely. There we go. So now we're in VTOL mode. As you can see, we still have a little bit of forward movement. When we engage the hover, we will lose the forward movement. And this is what I wanted to show you guys. It's quite important. You actually want to position yourself over the area that you want to land before you engage the hover mode. While in hover mode, the aircraft responds differently. When you can no longer roll left or roll right, but you can position yourself by moving left and right, and I'm going to display it here now. So there we go, we're hovering now. So you see, if I move left or right, the engine is what moves us left and right with the pedals, and that's what I'm displaying here now. And if you roll left, this is what happens. You'll see the aircraft will start to move slightly to the left and slightly to the right. Also, when you move the stick up, when you pull it up, the aircraft ascends, and if you push the stick forward, it descends. That's what I'm showing here now. It's like the aircraft moves up and down with your joystick. So if you move the joystick to the left, you can see it doesn't roll. It just moves slightly to the left and slightly to the right. And we're still in hover mode. Now I'm going to disable hover mode and move forward slowly so that I can align myself over the runway, and then I can switch hover mode on again, and then I can start to descend slowly onto the tarmac. So here we go. I've disabled hover mode, and now we're going to start moving slightly forward. You don't want to move forward too fast, and we're going to position ourselves over the runway and engage VTOL mode once we're over the tarmac. So you can see now I've engaged hover mode, and so now we are hovering over the runway. Now you would move the joystick forward to descend, and you want to descend really slowly. In the past, I've landed quite a few times with this aircraft on the aircraft carrier. Now the challenge on the aircraft carrier is that the aircraft carrier is always moving. So if you're in hover mode, you need to be prepared to land as soon as possible. So you need to get up close to the aircraft carrier along its side and really low. That way, when you engage hover mode, all you need to do is to position yourself slowly on the runway and descend slowly onto the tarmac. Don't descend too quickly, otherwise you will crash as well. So you need to be prepared. As soon as you engage hover mode on the aircraft carrier, you need to be prepared to land as soon as possible. So you need to be pretty low. Just a word of note, guys, as soon as you've touched down and you disable the hover mode, the aircraft will start to roll forward. So you need to be prepared to brake, and then as soon as the aircraft comes to a standstill, engage the parking brake. Model and graphics. I was really impressed with the model. The attention to detail is what caught my eye. A really good job by the developer. The rating speaks volumes. 10 out of 10. Cockpit. My first impressions of the cockpit at a glance, I thought it seems very basic, and boy was I wrong. In fact, it is designed to look sleek and crisp. All the functionality you require is available. You just have to learn how to access it. 10 out of 10. Flight. Smooth and very responsive movement. Extremely sensitive to flight controls. A pleasure to fly. The VTOL is extremely fun to play and really well designed. 10 out of 10. Sounds. Amazing sound. It really adds that level of immersion to the sim. I was really satisfied. It really made me feel as if I was hearing it in real life. 10 out of 10. Overall score, 10 out of 10. What an amazing aircraft. The aircraft is definitely worth the asking price. I would highly recommend it. Below I've added a support link where if you're encountering errors with your F35 or you want to read some of the FAQs that other people have experienced, you can go to the link to get support on the aircraft. If you enjoyed the content, please subscribe and click that notification bell so that you're aware of when I release new content. I'm looking forward to going on this journey with you guys.